Are you guys ready for the bubble to pop? Well, I got news for you. There is no bubble to pop. Mic drop. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Daniel Buffano, a realtor and team leader for the Buffano Home Team at RE/MAX Integrity located here in Grants Pass, and I make new videos all about our local real estate market and what it's like living in Southern Oregon. So make sure you smash that subscribe and notification button so that you don't miss any great content. Yep, you heard it. I do not think there is a bubble in the real estate market. However, I do think we are in for some major changes in the next couple of years, and so today's video is all about my predictions for the real estate market here in Southern Oregon. First, I think it's prudent to have a brief overview of the 2021 real estate market and how things have changed in the last year, and then we will get into some of the things that the feds just announced with rate changes and how that could affect the real estate market here in Josephine County. So as you can see here in this graph, we have all the areas of Josephine County broken down into their little sections, but I'm not going to bore you with all of these numbers. We're going to focus on the general, easy to understand numbers so that you get a good idea of where we have come from and where we could end up going. Let's bring our attention to the grand totals row down at the bottom of this graphic, and I'm going to jump straight over to the number of sold columns. And just for clarification, the last year column is referencing the year 2020, and the this year column represents the year 2021. As you can see, there were 1,331 residential properties sold in Josephine County in 2020, and we had 1,414 properties sell in 2021, which is a 6% increase. To me, this is a pretty minimal difference, but a valuable number nonetheless when we're evaluating changes in the market. Where we see the biggest changes are in the sold volume column, which has showed a 24% increase, and the average sales price column, which showed a 17% increase, both of which are massive changes that we have never seen before in the real estate market. Now I know what you're saying. Daniel, you moron. That's a real estate bubble that you say doesn't exist. And what I'm saying is, you're not wrong about the moron part, but let me finish and show you why it isn't a bubble, but more of a market due for some normalization. So if you've been paying attention like I have, you've noticed that the feds officially announced that interest rates are going to rise just like we all guessed they would. Even as it sits today, we are at about a 3.5% rate for a fixed 30-year mortgage, which is almost a point higher than the bottom we saw about a year ago. Some are suggesting that we may see rates go up another point by the end of the year. And for those who don't quite comprehend what that means, let me break it down for you in the simplest terms I can. Let's say you qualify for a $400,000 loan at 3.5%. If rates raise another point to 4.5%, this will change your approved purchase price by roughly 12.5%. If you're like me and can't do the math in your head, let's put it up on the screen for you so you can see it for yourself. $400,000 times 12.5%, or 0.125 for you math nerds, equals $50,000. The house you thought you could buy for $400,000, you can no longer afford because at 4.5%, you only qualify for $350,000. I'm going to sit here and wait a while you think about that for a bit. Yes, just 1 point in an interest rate can greatly affect the buyer's purchasing power, and most experts don't even think it's going to stop at 4.5%. as it may get backed up to 5 or 6% over the next few years. Now, I hope we never get back to the massive rates we used to, but what I'm trying to tell you here is that as interest rates rise, we may see buyers fall out of the market, lessening the demand that we've seen recently. Now, what does that mean for the immediate future? I believe that over the next few months, as we get into spring and summer, we will see what I call a last-minute surge of buyer activity as consumers start to realize that they may not qualify a year from now. The issue with this is that there is still very little inventory, and even though we see more inventory in the spring, I still don't expect prices to come down either. There is still simply too much competition out there right now, and that will keep prices up as long as there isn't a huge surge in inventory. Back in 08 and 09, the subprime lending market fiasco is what caused the real estate crash and the bursting of an actual bubble. This market was completely different back then, and what a lot of people don't realize is that the last 3 recessions our economy has faced, the real estate market has only been affected by the one, and it just so happened to be the one that caused it to begin with. The inventory before the crash was crazy high, and so was the buyer pool, because just about every person with a pulse could get a mortgage loan. This obviously was not healthy, and consequently the bottom fell out completely. If you want my honest opinion, there will always be opportunity in the real estate market. You just have to be ready for it. As far as right now goes, it's a great time to make a move because of the circumstances that we're in. If you're a buyer, listen well. These rates are not getting any lower anytime soon, so if you're interested in buying and need to borrow money, you should probably start the process right away before they get too high. On the selling side, there are 2 things I know for absolute certainty, and that is that there's an incredible lack of inventory right now, and 2, there is still a ton of buyers in the market as money remains cheap to borrow. Basic economics will tell you that when supply is low and the demand is high, prices will raise. It's the reason why we saw a historical 17% rise in home prices in 2021, and as the market starts to evolve this year and rates start to climb, I'm guessing that the demand will also start to diminish. This doesn't seem like it will change the inventory, but it will definitely normalize the market and slow competition, which means sellers will need to start getting more realistic with listing prices even as the spring market starts to heat up. So that's my market update and prediction for the year. No bubble to burst, however, there will be a normalization in the market as the year evolves, but hey, I don't have a crystal ball because if I did, I wouldn't be here making real estate videos for you. No offense. But with all that being said, my advice for you is to set up a time to talk with a trusted, knowledgeable real estate broker about your situation, whether that be buying, selling, or both. Real estate is a tricky business, and a true expert professional real estate broker can save you a lot of time and money, and I don't know anybody who wouldn't want more of that. So last but not least, what are your predictions? Drop a comment below on what you think the market is going to do, and as always, if you'd like to chat with me and my team about anything real estate related, please feel free to reach out at www.bufanohometeam.com or shoot us a message on social media, and we would be happy to chat with you. Thanks again for spending time to watch my video, and I'll see you next time.